Kathy Rich is here once again with us this JTV News Update, and today we're with Nagico, Mr. Shan Mohammed, and he's going to give us an update as to what's been going on with claims, persons coming for their insurance because of what has happened during the period of the hurricane. And Shan, we know for sure that you had done some amount of public relations, giving some information as to the basic procedures as to what's needed to be done in this regards. How has things been going so far?
Well, you can see me smiling today. I'm beginning to get a little bit more relaxed. Yesterday I would say it was a good day. We had about two disgruntled persons at the counter yesterday. Because, what I've been saying to people is that, and I've been saying this to my staff, we will have to be very patient because everybody expects that their claim will be settled tomorrow after having submitted the estimates today. It is just not possible. But what we have done, we have had to modify our approach and keep changing as the days go by, because like initially, my first interview, I thought, if we do 5 motor claims a day, 5 to 10 motor claims a day, we're making good progress. Now we realize you need to do 50 claims a day for motor claims, so to me, we're changing with times. Like Monday, we did about 65. Yesterday, about 50. Well, today, I think I've only signed off about 10 so far. But before the day is out, it's going to be at least about 20, 30 claims. So, what we're doing on the motor claim side, all those customers who have provided pictures and estimates, we're trying to settle from that basis. So we're not spending a lot of time going on the road trying to do inspections, except for cases when we look at it, we believe that the garage was over generous in writing off the vehicles, then we have to have a second look. But there haven't been too many instances like those. And now we have like another batch where we recognize we have estimates and we have claim forms only. So, like we took this out and we give it to a staff this morning and say, call up all these customers, and if they have pictures, ask them to email it at info@nagicobvi.com, because that is going to speed up the process. Now, what we're trying to do, we're not looking at the names when we settle the files. We're just going through them from 1 to 3. That would mean that, number 5,000 doesn't get looked at for a little bit longer. But if, some people persons have taken upon themselves to call in or to come and see us. And in those cases, we can isolate those files, look at them, and if it can be settled easily, we settle them within 24 hours. So we keep on changing things and be more reactive, because the situation demands that we change with changing times. So from that perspective, I feel comfortable. We have settled, we have, I think, about 700 plus, maybe more than that, more like about 1,000 property claims. And I would say, we are about 20% settlement. The one good news for the Nagico policyholders is that we can, if we want, within reason, give you a check next day. It's just that we have so many files that we don't rush them all to prepare vouchers immediately. So, in general, the process is after approval, well, within a week, the check can be issued. There seems to be some hold up when you take the checks to the bank, if we're banking with First Caribbean with respect to the claims account. So if it's First Caribbean customers, easy. But I'm told if you go to Scotiabank, they're holding, there's a certain time period for clearing checks, which I've called the bank to inquire yesterday, because, we want to make sure that there is no delay and there's no miscommunications in terms of or misconceptions. Once we issue the check, the money's in the bank.
Okay.
We're issuing the check because we have the money in the bank. So technically speaking, you should have access, but bank have their own processes and so forth. So to me, I am comfortable that Nagico has been responsive. Are we being challenged? The answer is yes, ever so often. But we've put together, to me, pretty good administrative systems to manage the thousands of files. For example, if we want to know the status of a particular claim, we can go into our system, we click on this one, we know which one has estimates, which one needs inspection. So we actually know where the file is at any given day. Getting the staff sometimes to become a little bit more organized has been a little bit of a challenge. Before when we would normally deal with 500 or 1,000 claims in a year, we're now dealing with about 10,000 files, and people expect to get these things resolved within 3 months. But a little things we can do, for example, all files must be in number order. We don't want to be searching here. There. We must know on the 3 floors who has which files. So that system has gotten better now and more streamlined. So from that perspective, I am happy. And you can see, the last time I did the interview, you can tell that I was a little bit stressed and I had a lot on my mind. But today I'm relaxed.
Okay, I'm happy to know that you're relaxed, but one of the things that you had alluded to in that previous discourse was the fact that you were absolutely sure that, it's going to be a quick fix because of your the availability of funds to handle all of these claims. But as the time goes by, you're seeing more claims than you actually had anticipated. Does Nagico still have the capacity to deal with all these claims financially as they come?
The answer is yes. I mean, what typically happens is, I don't know if the general public understands the process. Nagico Insurance buys insurance for a certain percentage of their portfolio. So if the aggregate is $1 billion, they'll buy something like, let's say, between 2 to 300 million in reinsurance costs. So the answer is yes. We are a little bit surprised by the final numbers in terms of numbers of files. It doesn't necessarily mean that every single person who has come into you to report a claim is going to end up having a claim. We've seen a couple instances where claims are below deductibles. I mean, a lot of people who want to chat, some of the person now saying, hey, I didn't know that I had a deductible on the policy. Well, I don't really believe that. As somebody rightfully said to me, they don't know of any insurance policy that doesn't have a deductible. So, but I understand 2% is a lot of money. And it means that policyholders also have to become better financial managers of their own affairs. You would have to put aside that 2% deductible somewhere in the event that you need it. And, to me, the hurricanes have made us more aware of the importance of insurance. There's so many things that we have taken for granted, including myself. We ship cars from Puerto Rico to the BVI. We don't buy marine cargo insurance, but now that is going to change. I prefer to spend the extra money and have that peace of mind. I'm going to go and look at my contents when I finish, replacing all that has been damaged from the hurricane. And I'm going to make sure that I insure what I need to insure myself.
Insure the plates, the buses.
You need to be adequately insured because most of the policyholders are being penalized on the insurance. And that's something we've been trying to reinforce for years, the importance of reassessing your property values. And one of the things that Nagico has been offering the policyholders is that we are saying we will pay for the reinstatement valuation. Not enough persons have taken up that offer. You imagine somebody giving you something for free that is in your best interest and you're ignoring it. We must start reading the documents people must start reading the documents the insurance company sends to them. Because there's a reason why they send it out, They're making sure they cover all the bases. You can't come back a year or two later and say, oh, I didn't know, because we're going to go back to our files and say, we sent you this information. We asked you to review the values. You have perhaps, for whatever reason, didn't pay attention to it.
Okay, I guess for quite a lot of persons, the need is now given birth that probably Nagico and other insurance company might want to come together and get involved in more education on insurance, taking out policies, what are required, because quite often, many times we get these documents to go home, we do not read the fine prints, and that is what can cause quite a lot of problems in times.
I would say, I myself am guilty sometimes of not wanting to pay attention to some, to fine writing. But those days are now gone. And perhaps as you made reference to the insurance industry, it's about time the BVI insurance industry modernizes. There are too many unqualified people out there professing to know insurance. And I think that the insurance division have got to come up with some sort of minimum requirement for persons to be out, for persons to be advising other people about insurance needs. I mean, you cannot have unqualified people here from us. I mean, that's one of the things that Nagico has been working hard over the years. We do offer the insurance exams. We are the Insurance Examination Center for the Insurance Institute of America in this very building. So a number of my staff have been doing the exams, and some of them have transitioned not, to other insurance companies. So we actually like the training ground. We have a couple of people, three of our staff at least who've left, and I understand that. The truth of the matter is that people get qualified. You need to explore what opportunities are there for you. I just look at it that, you're my product, your product in Nagico. We trained you, we made you, sort of. So, so that gives me some sense of satisfaction as well. But I think that the insurance division will have to step in now, and they need to do their job as well, because people need more information, and people need technical information. And you can't have a layperson. Imagine a layperson selling you insurance who can't define what is insurance.
Okay. And if we're to go back directly to persons who are filing claims, I know despite the explanation of the deductibles, there are quite some people who still think that despite the deductibles being taken out, they're not getting what they thought they should get in terms of dollar and cents.
That is indeed what we have also experienced. The truth of the matter is most people properties are uninsured. And I would hate to, the estimates that we are receiving, we're very concerned because they're not a proper indication of what it will cost to repair the property. When you give people a block figure, you says, roof, $65,000 with no quantities, how are we going to be able to determine if it's 65 or 35? So your claim is going to take longer. So when you go to these quantity surveying companies and these contractors, and you're paying for the estimates, I mean, you need to tell them what you want. You want a proper bill of quantities. For example, I'm looking at my house claim, and I've gone to a well-known quantity surveying company for an estimate. And there's a line item, I think they call it, it has to do with the data and the different wiring for my projector system. And they have an allowance of maybe between $5,000 and $10,000. The estimate I got from the person who did the work was actually $42,000. So, right away, you're seeing, in this case, they have underprovided for it. So I guess the insurance company might not have been too mindful of that. But I want my claim to be reflective of my loss. I don't want to be guessing. So, so now, even though I have the estimate now, I now have to go back and submit other additional information where they have gotten it wrong to the loss adjuster. And people would say, I mean, like, for example, I said to persons, I have not submitted my claim entirely. I wear two hats. I also wear the tag hat. Tag is millions of dollars in losses. The claims information is now coming to me. Now, it's been a bit unfortunate for Nagico that some persons have taken it upon themselves to spread unfounded rumors about Nagico's viability. I've heard things from some of our customers where they have gotten a call the second day after the storm, where people are saying, they heard Nagico will not survive or Nagico has gone bankrupt. And I started to laugh, to be honest with you, because not even Nagico would know if they're bankrupt after day two. We have no idea what is the extent of the losses. It's coming in now. And the other thing I think that Nagico did right, despite the noise, we put the deadline for submission of claims. As a result, we have over 90+% of the claims that are going to come in. So to me, we are one step ahead of the game. We didn't play this game and try to drag it out or not to tell the people what's in the policy, because all the policies have a deadline. Whether I tell it to you or not, I can enforce that contract condition. So I think we were forthcoming. We have been forthcoming in terms of giving persons regular updates. And, I was, before the interview, we were chatting a little bit, and I was saying to you, I did a little note on my Facebook page to say, We are working literally night and day. And that's no exaggeration, you know. I still do my 2 a.m. wake up and I start to answer emails because during the day it's almost impossible. But I wrote a little note on Facebook saying, you know, I'll be working hard. On Monday we settled about 65 claims. I know it was of interest, you know. All the comments on that response have been positive. You know, you would have thought, I would have expected somebody to come back perhaps and say, you know, if it's not true, to say, no, no, Sean, that is not true. And even if I deleted the message, people would have seen it. And knowing what I know, somebody would have screenshot it. And that would have taken a life of its own. But, you know, to me, action speaks louder than words. And Nagico is going to be here to stay. We do have some persons who have come to us and say, hey, I'm not going to meet your deadline. And we have looked at the individual cases, and if it's warranted, we have extended the deadlines.
So when is that deadline exactly?
It is October 31st. October 31st. But, you know, we understand there are going to be exception to the rules, and nothing is cast in stone. But it doesn't mean that everybody who choose to come in after October 31st, if they don't have good reasons, that we will say, yeah, it's fine. We want to still try and work with people as best as we can. And we might very well still accept the claims on a without prejudice basis. But we keep them there for a little bit and then deal with it after.
Okay. So what is the deadline does Nagico have in terms of completing all the claims that would have come in by October 31?
Well, we have had a lot of claims prior to October to started coming. People have been very responsive. Our chairman came down sometime last week. He was here for the day. He wanted to see the BVI for himself to have a better understanding of the type of loss and damages. And his mandate to our Nagico team here is he wants within 90 days about 80% of the claims settled. You know, and he's met with the staff, he's met with the loss adjusters. We are doing the motor claims ourselves in-house, and the properties are done by external loss adjusters. But, you know, he made the point. He says, look, you know, there's no point wasting too much time to try and save $500. Let us try and get as many persons as we can outside so that they can spread the news about Nagico. Let us focus more on the larger claims where perhaps the estimates are inflated somewhat, and that's where, you know, perhaps there'll be room for some adjustment. But he wanted the motor claims to be paid. It makes sense to me, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're pushing as hard as we can. But we're still doing an average about 10 to 15 property claims settlement a day. Because, you know, the loss adjusters were here for the flood, sorry. So we had the benefit of having people on the ground during the storm. So we were able, you know, we didn't make a lot of noise, but we were out there working steadily. And the results we can see now. We can see the results.
Okay. But in order to help persons reach that deadline of October 31, you had need to bring in more adjusters, or you had a good contingent of people on the ground?
We had two teams, one for the Virgin God and the Outer Islands and one for Tortola. I meet with the loss adjusters on a daily basis, and I'm asking them questions like, you know, how we managing, how we coping, are the guys getting tired? So to me, we're going to make judgment calls. The answer to your question is no, we don't feel like we need more adjusters now. But if we do, as time progresses, they are on standby. So it's easy to get them in. The government has done a wonderful job of facilitating that process without any red tapes. So we can bring in people in an instant if need be. Air travel has gotten better as well. So I feel like we got this thing under control.
Okay. So, Shan, what would be that final word you'd want to say to your customers to ensure that things continue to go smooth or even smoother than they are going right now?
Well, I want to say that, look, we need you to be patient as well. Because you will find instances, there's been so many claims that came in, whether via email, delivered by hand. So it is possible one or two might slip through the cracks. And I think I won't beat myself up too much about that. We will apologize and try and fix it. And I'm being very real. Things will happen. But I want to say to our policyholders, we are delivering as promised. We have said to you, and do business with Nagico, and in the event of a loss, we're going to pay your claims. And I feel that's exactly what we're doing. When we settle your claim, we can write you a check either today, this morning, or this afternoon. On the very large claims, where it will run into millions, there might be a little bit of a time delay. It might be 4, it might be 6 days, but it will not exceed 2 weeks. And those customers are going to be no more than about 6 of them. But those type of large claims. But before I go saying, for example, I was looking on Facebook the other day and saw the premier went to Just Van Dyke. He met with Foxy's, he met with Soggy Dollar. And I'm happy to say, the gentleman was here yesterday. We shook hands and we issued him a very nice check for 7 figures. And he promised me a painkiller sometime in December. Now, that is one painkiller I'm going for. I feel like I have earned that painkiller. And, we're going to do a little post on Facebook because I think it's important that people see for themselves what we are doing because, talk is cheap. Again, action speaks louder than words. So I'm hoping that all those persons that we have settled will be saying good things about Nagico. And as you yourself haven't walked in today, the deadline is the 31st of October. But take a look at my counter, my customer service area. You don't see chaos. You don't see people outside the door waiting to come in. No, it's almost too manageable right now. I'm knocking on wood, hoping that each day is going to get better and better.
All right, Ashan, thank you so much for this very informative update and as to what's going on with Nagico and what policyholders should look forward to and what they should do. And in the words of Ashan, his very popular words, never mind the talk, Nagico is on the go and will continue to do its best for its policyholders. I'm Kathy Richards with this JTV News Update.